Hello, everybody on YouTube. This is the Big Time Picks, ACC football. All right, we're going to get right to it. This is David Lawson from Big Time Picks, ACC football picks week 12. I'm 64 and 28. 4 and 3 last week. It's been, this has been a crazy year so far. But Florida State, as is expected, is at the top. But no one expected Clemson, to be this bad this year. They expected them to challenge uh, Florida State in the ACC championship. So the surprise team this year is Louisville. And the one that is also another surprise is the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, who was expected to do a little better than they did. So I'm going to go to my picks. Let's go right to my picks. So as you see, I am Boston College is going to be at Pittsburgh, and I am picking Pitt because they're up and down. And 1 week they're playing really good, like they're a really good team. Then they're not playing very good at all. But Boston College didn't play good at all last week. They was flat with Virginia Tech. I'm picking an upset, if you want to call it an upset. They almost beat Florida State, because that was a pretty good game. Saturday, Louisville at Miami. Oh, and by the way, the game is at 7 o'clock on ESPN for the Boston College Pittsburgh game. Louisville's at Miami. And I look for that to be a good game. I think Miami might just upset Louisville. So I'm picking Miami. Duke at Virginia. You never know which way Virginia's going to go, but they're still at the bottom, and I'm picking Duke because they're near the top. And that game is at 3 o'clock on the CW network. Louisville and Miami is at 12 noon. That's a noon game. Then we got Wake Forest at Notre Dame. I don't expect Wake to be make it a mess of a contest. Wake Forest could surprise. That could be a close game. But I think that Notre Dame will take care of Wake. And I'm picking Notre Dame to beat Wake Forest. Then we got the big game in Clemson with North Carolina at Clemson. 3:30 ESPN. UNC, I'm picking the upset. Clemson, if you want to call it an upset. Clemson don't lose very much at home, very hardly, but I think I'm picking Drake May to have a good game. And beat Clemson. North Carolina State at Virginia Tech. I'm picking North Carolina State at Virginia Tech. And these three games I was just mentioned are at 3:30. The Wake Forest Notre Dame games at NBC, 3:30. North Carolina Clemson, 3:30 on ESPN. North Carolina State, Virginia Tech at 3:30 on ACC Network. I'm picking North Carolina State. North Alabama at Florida State, 6:30 on CWNet. And of course, I'm picking FSU, unless North Alabama becomes a Nick Saban team. Then we got the prime time game. This one ought to be a good one. Syracuse at Georgia Tech, 8 o'clock on the SEC Network. Georgia Tech has surprised a lot of teams this year. They poured up some wins, and I'm picking Georgia Tech. So, Pitt over Boston College, Miami over Louisville, Duke over Virginia, Notre Dame over Wake, North Carolina over Clemson, North Carolina State over Virginia Tech, and Florida State will squash North Alabama, and Georgia Tech will beat Syracuse. By the way, that game's been played in Atlanta, not in Syracuse. So Syracuse at Georgia Tech, and Syracuse will go back to Atlanta to get ready for a game with Wake Forest. So let's take you to I'm back, trying to get it going here. Back on the picture screen. So I'm going to run through the series for you. Let's see how I'm doing here. Boston College at Pitt. Pitt leads the series 17-15. The last meeting, Boston College, 31-30. That was a 1-point overtime game in 2020. That was the last time. That was in 2020. So Saturday, Louisville at Miami. The series, Miami leads the series 11-3-1. Last meeting, Miami 47-34. That was also in 2020. That was during the COVID year. Duke at Virginia. Series, Virginia leads the series 40-34. Last meeting, Duke won that one 38-17. I'm picking Duke. Wake Forest at Notre Dame. Notre Dame leads series 5-0. And that make it 6-0 after Saturday. Last meeting, Notre Dame 56. Wake Forest 27 in 2018. Don't think they had Sam Hartman that year. Anyway, North Carolina at Clemson. Good about the rankings in this one. Even though they're number 22, Clemson's not ranked. But Clemson leads the series 39-19-1. Last meeting, Clemson 39-10 in 2022. That was wasn't that last year in the ACC championship game? Yep. Then we got the series with Virginia Tech, which leads the series over North Carolina State 28-19-4. Last meeting though, North Carolina State got out of there with a 22-20 point win. That was in last year. They won by 1 point. Should be about the same. Should be a pretty good football game. Then we got the big game with North Alabama at number 4 Florida State. The series is the first meeting actually, but you know, old North Alabama might turn into a Nick Saban. It'll be a big upset, but I don't think so. Nah. Syracuse at Georgia Tech, 8 p.m. That's the primetime game. That'll be a good one down in Atlanta. Georgia Tech leads that series 3-1. The last meeting, though, Syracuse won 37-21 back in 2020. And you can hear Wes Durham by the play-by-play Tim Hasselback, the analysis, and Taylor Tannenbaum on the sideline on that game to hear that call. So, Big Time Picks is bringing you up to date on everything. I don't have any other thing right now. Well, let's go to the standings. Let's look at the standings. So the way, and I'm going to go through the ACC standings, the conference, not the overall. So this is what counts right now. Florida State is 8-0. They've already clinched. They've already played all their 8 games and hadn't lost one. So they clinched it big time. Louisville 6-1. I think they're going to play Florida State in the ACC championship. And you probably say, you think? Yep. But North Carolina is 8-2. North Carolina's 4-2. North Carolina State is 4-2. Georgia Tech is 4-2. A lot of fours, but Georgia Tech is 4-3. They could be 5-3 with a win over who? Who did I say? Duke. But I don't think they will. No, wait a minute. They play Syracuse. I'm sorry. I have my mind on the other way. Um, Georgia Tech, I think, will beat Syracuse, and they'll be 5-3. But I'll probably be wrong. They're 5-5 overall. That would also clinch them a bowl bid with that win. Boston College is 3-3. Duke is 3-3. Clemson is 3-4, under 500 in the ACC. But they're still going bowling with a 64 record. Miami is also 64 going bowling. They're 2-4 though in the ACC. Syracuse 1-5. Pitt 1-5. Virginia 1-5. Wake Forest is at the very bottom, 1-6. So you got Notre Dame going up against a bottom team. How often does the bottom team of the standings beat a team like Notre Dame, especially with Sam Hartman? So those are the standings. And that's the way it looks for Saturday. Saturday, be sure to tune in to your favorite ACC football games because it's going to be a doozy. Hang on. Hang on. So we're going to end the Big Time Pick Show in the ACC football the same way we came on. That's with the intro, outro, intro. ACC Big Picks. Have a great night. Have a great week. Hope your team wins. And I hope I do a little better than I did last week. Have a great day. Bye bye.